Now, some of you know, growing up, I didn't have a father in the house. But I was lucky enough to have people around me, a stepfather, my grandparents, teachers, coaches, and most of all, my mom, who tried to teach me the difference between right and wrong. And who showed me what it meant to be honest and be responsible and to work hard and be accountable and treat other people the way I'd want to be treated. And I won't lie to you, when I was a teenager, through young adulthood, I did not always live up to those values the way I should have, and I made mistakes, and I tried to learn from them. And I internalized those values, and I tried to live up to them, and I tried to pass them on to my kids. And I suspect most of you grew up the same way. And one of the most disturbing things about this election, about Trump's rise in politics, is how so many of us, even good people that we know, seem somehow suddenly to be willing to set aside values that we were taught. I mean, the day after the 2020 election, thousands of mail ballots were being counted right here in this convention center. And because Donald Trump was willing to spread lies about voter fraud in Michigan, protesters came down, banged on the windows, shouting, "Let us in, stop the count." Poll workers inside being intimidated. Earlier this month, we learned that someone on Trump's campaign told the lawyer to, quote, to find a reason to try to throw out votes, quote, even if it's BS. Hey, do not boo. Later, hold on. Later, the same staffer said, quote, make people riot. All because Donald Trump couldn't accept losing. Right now, we just saw one of the deadliest couple of hurricanes down in North Carolina, Florida. And while Biden and Harris are comforting families and trying to get aid, and FEMA workers trying to go out there, Donald Trump is making stuff up, saying that, oh, they're diverting emergency funds to immigrants, and that they're not giving it to Republican counties. And so suddenly FEMA workers, emergency workers trying to help desperate people, are worried about their own safety, and people aren't applying for aid. When did that become okay? No, look, I know you know the answer, but I want us to think about this. No matter where you stand on the issues, why would you go along with that? If your co-workers act like that, they wouldn't be your co-workers for very long. If you had a family member who acted like that, you might still love them, but you wouldn't put them in charge of anything. You wouldn't trust them. And yet, when Donald Trump lies or cheats or shows utter disregard for our Constitution, when he calls service members who died in battle losers, when he calls fellow citizens vermin, we make excuses for it. We act like it's okay. Or at least those who say they're supporting him, they say, well, he's just joking, or it's not that serious, or what, as long as we win, that's how politics is played. No, it's not. And I've noticed this especially, a while back I said this, and some folks were all, asking me questions about it, where I said, look, especially some men seem to think Donald Trump's behavior is somehow a sign of strength. No. Look, I want to be clear. I want everybody to actually look at the record. I want them to educate themselves on the issues. I have friends who have voted Republican in the past. I do not think one party has the monopoly on all wisdom. But when I hear folks saying, yeah, I'm thinking about voting for him just because, and I say, what? And they say, well, I know he seems strong. He seems tough. I saw him at the UFC fight. I am here to tell you that is not what real strength is. It never has been. Real strength is about working hard. All those guys showing up every day on the factory floor, busting their butts to support their families, that's real strength. Real strength is taking responsibility for your actions and upholding your duty. Real strength is about telling the truth, even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That's what we should want in our daughters and our sons. And that is what I want to see in the President of the United States of America. And the good news is that you have candidates to vote for in this election who demonstrate that kind of character, who know what real strength looks like, who will set a good example and do the right thing and leave this country better than they found it. And that is the choice in this election. It is not just policies that are on the ballot. It is about who we are. It is about what we stand for. So whether this election is making you feel excited or scared or hopeful or frustrated or anything in between, do not sit back and hope for the best. I know I'm the hope guy, but don't just hope. Get off your couch and vote. Put down your vote. Put down your phone and vote. Vote for Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. Vote for Tim Walz as the next vice president of the United States. Vote for Alyssa Slotkin and this whole incredible Michigan Democratic ticket. Get your friends and family, neighbors, co-workers to do the same. Because if enough of us make our voices heard, we will leave no doubt about the outcome of this election. We will leave no doubt about who we are and what America stands for. And together we will keep building a country that is more fair and more just and more equal and more free. That is our job, Detroit. That is our job, Michigan. That's our responsibility. Let's get to work. Thank you, Detroit. Thank you, Michigan. God bless you.